I think the overall summary, right, is just create fair punishments and equal opportunities. I mentioned tryouts. Hold tryouts with full teams and a coach that can monitor it. So instead of just having some sort of scrim, or I've seen several tryouts where they're like, okay, go play 5 games solo queue and we'll see, how it comes back. And they use data analytics to see how they played. And all of that stuff is really great. But whenever you're forcing somebody to solo, duo, or even trio queue, whenever it's up to a team of 5, you still have a high risk of running into toxicity. So create those equal opportunities by having tryouts where you can watch what's going on, and you can even, let's say you have 20 people who come to your tryouts, you can make different teams, and then you can mix and swap teams, but it's all people that you have full visibility over. You're seeing the comms, you're seeing the voice text, you're hearing everything. And so that's really, really important moving forward. I know during COVID, that's obviously a little more difficult. But I think a solution to that is utilizing Discord and, putting people on video cam and saying like, hey, this is required. We're going to pretend like we're in person here. And we want everybody to be able to hear that. And I want to hear all open communication. Another thing is hold all players and staff equally accountable. Unfortunately, during my time in collegiate, there have been a few different occasions where we've had students that are extremely toxic to others. We had one that was being very, very racist towards another team, and the coach didn't do anything about it because it was their number one player. It was it, they were a very, very good player. It was pretty clear that they weren't going to make playoffs without this player. So they kind of made an exception. And so that was where I personally had to step in, and I had to unfortunately ban the school from competition, because that was completely unacceptable. And then, I had to deal with the coach that was allowing that. So that was a big ordeal, but you can't exclude everything, or anyone from these different rules, because then you're just, you're kind of breeding the toxicity. And what I always tell people is you breed the community that you reflect. So if you're a coach or a director or even a content creator or whatever your chat or your team or your university, whatever those kind of people reflect, that's what you're putting out. So it also is important to keep an eye on that, but it's also to make sure that you're putting out as much positivity and as much accountability as possible, because then that's what your community is going to expect.